Hey everyone, how's it going? Making a quick video off the dome here. A couple things I wanted to talk about. One being CCTG, because I saw it today when I was at work. I feel like it was such a good opportunity short. I don't know what borrows were like. If you just look at kind of this run up. The run up happened here. It topped out, then broke out, and just if this isn't indecision, I don't know what is. But what I thought was interesting was the following candle gap downs with the halting. This was super interesting. But yeah, great short opportunity. Just cracked from 6 to 1.6 basically, and then obviously longing there. Is a nice little 2x and then short again. This kind of volatility is crazy. But yeah, when something has a run up like from under $1 to 5, 3.5, and then 5, once the market opens, it has to stay in that tight window, otherwise it keeps halting. So I think this one was just halting every couple minutes. I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit, because if what I mentioned about 60K being a very big buying level wasn't clear, it should have been with this recent price action. Basically, anything under 60K has been being bought up. I don't know if that's the right grammar. Has been bought up, I guess. So interesting stuff to see. These wicks of buying pressure underneath 615, let's say, and any dip below 60,000 was bought up pretty quickly. So it goes to show that that support level here seems to be holding. But again, as I said in the previous video, like it's very unclear what's gonna happen. I could very much see us sweep the lows and then we start that uptrend. Right now we're in this kind of short-term downtrend. So I called that around when I started seeing this, and it looks like that's been coming to fruition. It's just this 60K is showing a little bit of support. So I don't know if we take off from here or if we keep going lower. All I know is once the downtrend started, I increased my recurring buys. Last couple of things I want to talk about is IPO season. So a big reason that I think the market has continued to go up is all of these IPOs and the news around them. So SpaceX is going to IPO on Thursday. We've got OpenAI that's expected in September, and Anthropic maybe October. It's really like unclear. Every basically big ticket AI company, it feels like, is going to IPO. I think I saw something about how Perplexity is targeting 2028. My advice on all of this is be careful. I think a lot of these companies have really outrageous valuations, and it doesn't really make sense to just jump into them. Investing in the IPO as soon as the stock market opens is like a textbook way to lose money. I feel like you're gambling at that point, and it makes a lot more sense to kind of see what happens first. If you're looking at SpaceX as a long-term hold, you definitely shouldn't invest in it right on the open. There's going to be a point in time where all the initial shareholders are going to dump their shares. When an IPO happens, the company doesn't dump all of its shares onto the stock market. SpaceX is offering about 3 to 5% of its total shares. The rest, Elon has, Google has, its other employee stock, its other venture capital stakes. So those are locked up and don't trade. This is probably the most important information. The final retail allocation can't be determined until the book is closed. It really depends. They don't know yet. And until we get closer and closer, that information isn't going to be fully public. Be very careful about this. I feel like this, and along with all the other IPOs, it's super, super risky to just buy into right away. I've been making jokes at work about how I'm going to short the hell out of SpaceX when it IPOs, but the reality is all that matters is price action. So I do think that how this would play out is there's going to be an initial jump up as new investors come in. But if you think about it, this is probably going to be the most hyped IPO of all time. So the price action should reflect that. If price isn't skyrocketing right away, that should be a warning sign that there's something going on here. And those are oftentimes the best times to go short. I think a great example of an IPO gone wrong is Figma, because this had a ton of hype too. And this similar thing could happen to SpaceX. Now, that being said, you look at these numbers: earnings 60% beat, revenue 5% beat, but this stock is down 80% all time. And times like this are like, okay, now that the hype is all gone, now that this company is showing signs of growth, it might be a good idea to start building a position. So this is when you want to go long, is when the stock's beaten down and you have that long-term horizon, not on IPO date, because it can just tank. So that's my take on IPOs. Invest at your own risk. I would definitely wait and see what happens if you want to be a long-term SpaceX investor. It's just super, super risky to go all in right away because the probability that price is just going to take off and never pull back for an IPO is very low. So play the probability. That's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. I can't wait for my Bitcoin position to pay off in 3 years, and peace.